Good morning. Buenos dias. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. Our weekly worship is where we connect, share information, and inspiration. My name is Jim Noel. I've been a member since 1993, most of the time in the choir, for a long time in stewardship, different board positions, whatever needs to be done. And also helping with Polly. I guess she's on the patio right now. And love being here. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. We strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our work for justice for our planet and all its people. Let us bring to mind the many different homelands of our ancestors and be grateful that we can join here in beloved community, owing in part to their journeys. Let us recognize that San Antonio, also called Yanaguana, is the homeland of the Coatican, whose people have lived here for over 8,000 years. Their descendants, knowledge keepers of this area, still struggle for the right to participate in decisions that affect their people, property, and sacred heritage sites. We invite those who are visiting us this morning for the first time to rise so that we can see you and greet you. Glad to see you here. Thank you. If you're interested in becoming a member of this community, please ask any member of the staff, any member or staff. Any of us can help you join the community. We have a membership book that you sign, and we also ask that you make an annual contribution to help fund the ministry. And in fact, you'll see that's our theme this morning, helping to make next year's pledge for supporting the ministry. If you are new to us or visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to help get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we hope that you will find your place with us. We have reserved the last couple of rows for latecomers, visitors, or those who have mobility challenges. So if you need space back there, there's usually plenty available right there. Now I invite you to greet your neighbors and extend a warm welcome to one another.
Something different with our first hymn today. First, Reverend XK is going to lead us in the verse, and yeah, pretty special. And then the choir will sing the verse, and then you'll sing the verse. Then the choir is going to do a little interlude, and then you'll sing the verse again, and the choir will end with another interlude. And if you feel like singing along with the choir once you get the hang of it, please do. So when I turn around like this to you all, that's when you sing. Got it? Good. Okay.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
Good morning. I'm Xolani Kacela, he, him pronouns. And before I start with the opening words, I want to give a special thanks to Brother Tim Versteeg for standing in for me last week when I was down and out with the little stuff. Our opening words are from the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, who writes, "To worship means to consider that which has worth. Today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community. The opportunity to be affirmed in who we are and to offer that affirmation to others. The chance to stand up together to help remake the world in the ideal of justice. So this morning, let's welcome all these gifts with gratitude, for they have been paid for with many currencies. The tears of those who struggle to build better lives for those in this life, the questions of our children as they understand the world anew and offer their understanding to us as a fresh lens, the laughter and joy of those giddy with the embrace of community, the dollars and cents of those who gave what they could and then stretched a little more, the infinite small acts of service that make the parts greater than the whole, done by those who knew themselves in sympathy with our purposes. So today we consider with gratitude and humility what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward for us. And now let us enter into worship with gladness in our hearts. We light our chalice in the name of stewardship and justice for all.
We are called as Unitarian Universalists to build the beloved community where all are welcome as blessings. Let us recite our covenant that articulates our promises and binds us together. Please read together. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall glow into harmony with each other. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Su sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su oración es el servicio. Vivir en paz. Buscar sabiduría en libertad. Dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos uno con el otro.
We are indeed one. And now we're going to invite you to come one by one for our stone ceremony, which allows you to have some personal and collective reflection. We invite you to come forward to pick up one of the pebbles, to spend a moment in reflection or prayer, meditation, if you will, and then drop the stone into the water. I invite you to come now. From our community book of life, we have a few offerings. Pray for First UU member Margarita Moreno, who is currently in the hospital. To honor Cuauhtemoc, leader of Mexican indigenous resistance, on the 500th anniversary of his execution, from Jody Iglesias. I'm happy to make it to my third service and bring my partner, says David Fagans. We're happy that you're here too. And a big hip hip hooray that Martha Cooley is back with us. Martha reports to me that she's no longer in great pain, so we're happy that you're here and standing. Amen. I invite you for a moment of pastoral meditation. If you would, find your center, your breath, and relax your being to the extent that you can. Spirit of life and love that flows through all beings. We gather in this moment, diverse in thought, yet united in our hope for healing in our divided nation. As we navigate these turbulent waters together, we seek not uniform answers, but wisdom in our collective journey. Guide us to see beyond the boundaries that separate us, the political lines, the social divisions, the economic disparities that fracture our common humanity. Remind us that in our pluralistic tapestry lies our greatest strength, that in honoring each person's inherent worth and dignity, we honor the whole. Grant us courage to speak truth to power, yet humility to listen deeply to those whose truths differ from our own. In times when fear would harden our hearts, help us choose compassion. In times when despair would dim our vision, help us kindle hope. In times when anger would close our minds, help us practice understanding. May we be instruments of justice tempered with mercy, of conviction balanced with openness, of passionate belief alongside respectful dialogue. Together may we build not walls but bridges, creating the beloved community our nation yearns to become. We ask these and the meditations of our hearts into the silence. We ask these reflections and meditations, prayers, concerns, in the name of all persons present and absent, known and unknown, remembered and forgotten, and all helpers of humankind. Amen. Ashe, and may it be so.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Carol Bertsch, and I'm happy to be your president this year, and I am delighted that today is our official kickoff for our annual stewardship campaign, during which we ask all members and friends to pledge support for First UU's ministries for the coming fiscal year. The board, Dr. XK, staff, finance team, and other lay leaders have worked hard to identify enhancements needed to support First UU's programs and help make First UU a vibrant, welcoming congregation. Having appropriate funding to support First UU will also be essential in attracting the best candidates during our upcoming ministerial search. Our pledge goal for next year is $546,181, which represents only a 5.6% increase from the current budget year. This modest increase will help to enhance RE youth programming and support for parents, ensure staff are fairly paid in accordance with their responsibilities, provide a 2.5% cost of living adjustment for all staff, support a part-time coffee barista for our lounge, hire a part-time facilities manager to relieve maintenance and repair burdens on our church administrator and lay leaders, and establish a reserve fund for smaller capital projects for our aging classrooms and office building. As of today, church leadership have already pledged $110,000 to demonstrate their trust in First UU's mission. Now we ask the general congregation to join us. First UU is self-funded and depends on the support of all its members and friends. If everyone gives what they are able, we'll have what we need to co-create the beloved community of love and justice. Campaign materials were mailed out earlier this week and were also distributed electronically. There will also be opportunities in the coming week for members and friends of the congregation to meet with board members and ask questions about the budget and campaign. Starting today and throughout the month of March, members of the stewardship team will be available to take your pledges before and after Sunday worship. Whether you are ready to submit your pledge today or not, everyone is welcome to stay for the catered barbecue lunch immediately following the service. Thank you.
My name is Tim Versteeg. It is my great pleasure to be the Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at the church. My pronouns are he, him, and it is time for the young, and the young at heart to come and see what's in the box and listen to his story. The box is very full today, and I'm going to need people to help me hold things up. Is that cool? Yeah, I've got lots of stuff to hold up. I might even have enough for everybody, I think, today. Okay, all right. So, any guesses in what's in the box? Kind of toys, yeah. Are they particular toys, do you think?
Superhero toys?
No, that was your class this morning. Somebody.
A doll? Yeah, but it was supposed to be a superhero. I'm saying almost superhero.
Oh, okay. No, it is not superheroes this morning.
You should go again. Maybe.
No, but that's a good guess. That's an interesting guess. It's, I tell you what, it's something that represents something that's living. Does that help?
Animals.
Close. What kind of animals?
Like stuffed animals.
Some of them are stuffed. We could go on all day. Guess what's in the box? There. If we look up there, what does it say? The Conference of the...
Birds.
There's birds. I thought somebody would have looked up there, buddy. Okay. That one, hold that up. Okay, we're gonna keep going. We have
Come there all the time now.
some very well-dressed penguins.
Can I have a penguin?
We have one of those, one of these. I'm just handing them out, guys.
Just stand on the outside.
Somebody can hold that up if you like. That's got birds all over it. There's a, okay. You want to hold that? You can hold that. You can hold that. Your brother got one? Okay. You guys got one in the back here? All right. One more there. Anybody not? I've got one left. Anybody got one left? You want to hold one, something, hon? Here. Okay. So we have all these birds. All these birds. And this is a story from a Sufi Muslim writer named Ferruddin Attar. One of your classes about birds? Nice. Once upon a time, all the birds in the land decided they needed a leader for their community. A leader, they thought, would make their community stronger. Representatives of all the bird species. So we've got kiwis, we've got doves, we've got ducks, we've got owls, we've got penguins, very well-dressed penguins, and we got geese. They all got together to discuss finding a leader. And the kiwi said, a leader will tell us the right things to do. Our leader must be wise, said the owl. A leader must believe we are each and everyone important, big and small, said the chicken. Where'd my chicken go? There it is. Oh, somebody's got a chicken. There's chicken. Oh, there's chicken there too. Yes, the leader will help us get along better, said the jay. I want the leader to be caring, like a friend, said the dove. The leader must make us feel safe, said the cardinal. I know where you can find such a leader, said the duck. There's the duck. Hold it up. Oh, we got a couple of ducks. So duck has a plan. The duck said, it is the I know where we can find such a leader. It is the Simorg, and it lives far away from here. The Simorg. The birds were very excited. They said they were willing to go anywhere to find a leader. It might be dangerous, said the duck. A few birds looked troubled, but all birds voted to go find the Simorg. The duck flew off, and all the birds followed, and those that couldn't fly, like the kiwi, got rides. They flew at night. They flew in sunshine. Days and days passed. Some birds got tired and left the group. Other birds were filled with doubt. How did they know the Simorg really existed? Only the duck had ever heard of this bird. Some of the doubters dropped out, but the others kept flying. One valley was filled with fiery mountains, and all the birds were afraid. I'm too small to make it over that mountain, said the chicken. Nope, keep going, we can make it together. We will help you. The strong flyers helped the weaker flyers. The birds with good vision helped find food for the group, and along the journey, the birds learned how to better respect, share, and care for each other, and it seemed that every bird had something special and unique to offer that made the journey easier. And finally, the duck announced, okay, watch it. The duck announced, where's my duck? There's the duck. The duck announced that we are here. And the other birds looked around in anticipation. They wondered where they were. And the birds, come, it's over here, said the duck. And the birds stood beside the duck and realized they were on the edge of a lake. They looked in, and what do you think they saw?
They saw the reflection, meaning that we're the leaders.
Jumping ahead. Yes, the Simorg was all of them. And all of them were the Simorg. They remembered that each of them had something good and strong and special inside of them, and that each bird had gifts to bring to the community. They were all that was needed to keep the community strong, just like we're all that's needed to keep this community strong. They knew now that together they could do anything. No, everything's got to go back in the box for the next time I need birds for a story. And that's the end of our story. Thank you for all your help. You liked it? Good. All right, there we go. Here.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Jan Riolini, and I have been a member here since 1987. When I was just 2 years old. No, I mean, that's when my youngest child became 2 years old. And I was asked to do a little testimonial to explain to you why I am so devoted to this church and why I devote actual funds, money, moolah, what I can, and then I think, can I do more? I also want to do things in person and help people and volunteer and be here to support everybody emotionally. But the funding is really important. The money really is part of how we support our church. And we don't like to talk about money generally, but it is important. So that's why I said, okay, I'll do it. My kids grew up in this church. One son has a tattoo of a flaming chalice on his shoulder. He considered being a minister himself, part of his life. One son is gay, and I believe that the acceptance that he found here saved his life when he was a teenager. He had, it was important. And for me personally, I have continued to be involved with this church because it has meant so much to me and my kids. It's hard to put it fully into words. I grew up as a Unitarian in San Francisco, so I knew this was a place I could go when I was ready after my residency and part of my faculty stuff at the Health Science Center and all. But it took me a while to get over here. It took me a while of learning and developing. And I had to get over my shyness to really get involved. But here I found my inspiration, my community, my people, my way I could learn every day and every week. It's also my chance to work for justice and love and everything that needs to be worked for in this topsy-turvy world we find ourselves in, where we're facing fascism. I think it's already here. And we also see that we've just changed sides after the Cold War. I feel deeply the need to give to this church in whatever way I can. And again, making a financial commitment is important to me. I hope it's important to you too. For some people, it's very difficult. We have some hard times in our country, in our city, in our church, and we understand that. For those that are able to give what they can and support the church in many ways, this is an act of love. It's an act of community. And for me, it's an act of justice. So please give what you can, look into your heart, and find what is right for you. Our Minister Emeritus, Art Severance, Reverend Art Severance, always would say, give until it feels good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Our reading this morning is an excerpt from a conversation between two friends. Well, there came a time when I changed my mind. I changed the way I relate to my partner. You see, when we first got together, I looked at all the things that I could receive from this relationship. I could get a steady partner. I could get physical affection. I'd have someone who would take responsibility of my car and mow the lawn. I'd even have someone who would care for me when I got sick. The elder then went on, but those things now seem to become less important as the years went by. Things did get hard for us. We were on the verge of splitting up sometimes too. As a last resort, we went to a therapist, and this therapist noted how intent we were in getting our needs met. She acknowledged that getting needs met was important, but she also suggested that we work on changing our minds. The therapist suggested that instead of seeing what we can receive from the relationship, we concentrate on what we could give to our partner.
I fear for my family. I'm afraid for my friends. I'm scared this is how my plans come to an end. In these troubled times, I search for what is true. Then something reminds me I can count on you. You mean the world to me. With you I'm safe and I'm free. Here I know who I am. I'm a part of the plan. I'm a piece of the dream. Whatever I have given, I've been given so much more. When I look around me, I can see what I'm giving for. You're the framework for my future. You're the archive of my past. I will cherish your friendships until I breathe my last. Each of us unique, yet gathered here as one. We join hands and hearts to share the work that must be done. You mean the world to me. With you I'm safe and I'm free. Here I know who I am. I'm a part of the plan. I'm a piece of the dream. Whatever I have given, I've been given so much more. When I look around me, I can see what I'm giving for. I don't need to run away. I won't need to hide. You are the allies who'll stay by my side. We'll grow stronger still as deeper grows our trust, guided by our values. We'll do what we must. You mean the world to me. With you I'm safe and I'm free. Here I know who I am. I'm a part of the plan. I'm a piece of the dream. Whatever I have given, I've been given so much more. When I look around me, I can see what I'm giving for. When I look around me, I can see what I'm giving for.
Thank you, Dana, for helping us see what we're giving for. That was a beautiful song. We really loved it. Thank you. I was going to say good morning, church, but I guess I should say good morning, Simorcs. Is that what you said, Simorcs? We're all Simorcs in here together. We're all looking around for our leader, but we're all leading together. We're talking about a sermon on the amount this morning, a sermon on the amount. And for those of you who are here for the first time, I know we have a few visitors. This is not the typical sermon where we talk a lot about money this morning. So I want to say that some of this may sound a little bit wonky, but please come back next Sunday. Well, this Sunday wouldn't be possible without our finance team and our stewardship team. So I want to just give a shout out to those people who have made this day possible. The stewardship team consists of Dorothy Wallace, who lives in Albuquerque, Samantha McLaughlin, Jim and Polly Noel, Rachel Weber, Lana's son, Alicia Smart, and Justine Henson. It's a big team. And finance is led by our treasurer, Donna Pereira, and it includes Kathleen Fonseca, Deborah Bertsch, Jennifer Johnson, and again, Samantha McLaughlin. Sam is on both committees, so if you need a role model for getting involved, please see Sam, or do as Sam does. If you ask yourself, what would Sam do? That would get you involved in something. It would be great if we didn't have to talk about money. Think about how it would be if there was some larger source that sent us all the money we needed. They don't exist. So we have to run a stewardship campaign to raise the money. Whether we talk about money or not, we always think about it. And all ministers wonder whether their preaching affects how much you give the church. I wish I had a crystal ball that tells me when my messages resonate with you and whether they compel you to contribute, but that doesn't exist either. Our financial situation here has been stable. I'm truly grateful for the trust and confidence that you have in the staff, our board, and your commitment to our mission. We are in a relationship with each other. And to keep it honest, let me offer you a brief picture that complements what Carol has already given you. During the pandemic, the church lost some members. Since 2020, church membership here has decreased from 397 people to 360, or about 10%, which the Gallup poll says is about average. However, our expenses have increased with inflation from about $434,000 to $546,000, which you heard from Carol this morning, which is about a 25% increase. So the amount for the sermon on the amount is $546,000. That's the trend. Fewer people, more expenses. And I have a few thoughts on this. But first I want to share with you a story. It's a little lengthy, so just relax. There was a couple who dated for a while, and they loved one another very much. They decided to have a ceremony to show others their commitment to one another. The ceremony was lovely, and everyone thought they were the perfect couple. Everything went well for a while, but things began to get rough. They both changed and grew. They were no longer sure they were with the person who would make them the happiest they could be. One partner felt their sex life was suffering, that needs were not getting met. One partner believed there was no longer a connection between them, that they no longer had much in common. Each of the partners, without even having said anything to the other, had resigned themselves to the inevitability that their relationship was going to end. In quiet desperation, one partner went to an old friend to talk. The elder had been in a relationship much longer, had known hard times in their relationship, but seemed now to be as happy as a couple could be. They talked. The younger said to the elder, "Things don't seem very good in my relationship right now. It looks like we're headed towards splitting up. How did you two make it through the difficult times?" And the elder replied, "Well, there came a time when I changed my mind. I changed the way I related to my partner. You see, when we first got together, I looked at all the things that I could receive from the relationship. I could get a steady partner. I could get physical affection. I'd have someone who would take responsibility for my car and mow the lawn. I'd have someone who would care for me when I got sick." The elder went on, but those things seemed to become less important as the years went by. Things did get hard for us. We were on the verge of splitting up too. As a last resort, we went to a therapist. The therapist noted how intent we were on getting our needs met. She acknowledged that getting needs met was important, but suggested we work on changing our minds. The therapist suggested that instead of seeing what we can receive from the relationship, we concentrate on what we could give our partner. I don't know how to say it any other way, and it pains me to say it to you now. The thing I wanted, the thing I thought so important, were things I could take. That little insight, moving away from taking toward giving, made all the difference in the world for us. The younger person went home feeling differently. The couple talked for a long time that night. They told one another what they needed in order to feel good in the relationship. But they made a new vow that night. They vowed to take care of one another in a whole new way. They still had hard times. There were still difficulties in the relationship. But they had changed their minds from taking to giving, and it made all the difference in the world. The couple had been together for several years. They knew they were not like other folks in their neighborhood when it came to religion. They were surrounded by conservative people and ideas and felt like they didn't fit in all that well. They had both gone to church as children, but the more they learned about science, the more they learned about the world, the more they learned about evil, the more they learned about other faith traditions, the less they believed like their parents and their friends. Now they had children of their own. They had adopted 2 wonderful young ones, and their children were getting pressure at school. They had all these questions about sex, God, questions neither partner believed themselves well equipped to answer. They didn't want their children to suffer. They wanted an ethical vibe for their young ones. Then they happened upon this little Unitarian Universalist church. The people there were friendly. The potlucks were pretty good. The minister was okay in the pulpit and seemed sincere most of the time. There were times the minister made them angry or said something insensitive, but they decided to join the little church anyway. "I'll get to sing in the choir," one partner said. "It'll give you rest when the kids are in religious education," said the other. "I'll get some intellectual stimulation. I'll get my soul fed." And then they said in unison, "I may even get to take a nap during the sermon." After a while, the little church did well. In fact, now new people were coming and joining all the time. Some were by themselves, some were empty nesters who had been together for years. Some were gay, some believed in God. They were all so different and all so very much the same. There was a lot of love in the church, and there was a wonderful feeling of momentum. It wasn't always easy, it wasn't always perfect, but it was very good. But there wasn't enough money, it seemed. And there were so many good causes in other areas of their lives, so many places to spend their money and their energy. Yet sometimes it was apparent the thing that fed them the most received very little. Then something miraculous happened. Together they began to see how important the religious community had become in their lives. They began to see how much they had received from their church. They began to see if this relationship was gone, how much they would lose in their lives. They began to understand their relationship with their church, that it was important. And just like their own relationship, it had to be nurtured in another way. They had to change their mind. They saw how generously they had received and now understood how generously they wanted to give. It didn't mean that everything in the church was perfect. It didn't mean the minister wouldn't sometimes say the wrong thing or always give a great sermon. That wasn't me. It didn't mean they didn't get angry or frustrated or disappointed sometimes, but they would now commit differently, in a way that was much deeper, a way where they now focused on how they could care for their religious community. The time came when something shifted from believing there was a need to be taken care of to the desire to offer care. And it made all the difference in the world. My friends, the ministry that we conduct at First Unitarian is all about relationships. When I look around this place, I see caring, loving relationships at every turn. Some of you express your love for each other in groups. Others express their love for this church in individual service projects. Together, all these relationships work because you change your mind about something. You vowed to care for someone in a whole new way. I wish we didn't have to ask you to increase your pledge, but the economic circumstances demand my honesty. Without an increase, we will be like that little family who is barely getting by from paycheck to paycheck. Here's another shorter story for you. A man died and went to heaven. He was met at the pearly gates by St. Peter, who led him down the golden streets. They passed mansion after beautiful mansion until they came to the end of the street where they stopped in front of a shack. The man asked St. Peter why he got a hut when there were so many mansions that he could live in. St. Peter replied, "I did the best that I could with the money you sent us." Beyond our walls, we find ourselves in unknown territory. The president is hollowing out the bedrock of our democracy. Every day, they lay off thousands of government employees. Every day, they roll back safeguards for American people. How do you fight back? You have to change your mind and give more to the relationship that you depend on. By giving more to this institution, you're investing in a cause you depend on to rise against tyranny and oligarchy. Invest your dollars and support families and kids, justice, arts, and community building. Support this church and ensure that we survive the forces that are desperate, deliberate, and strategic about canceling what we stand for. Trust me when I say this. If you take care of this church will take care of you. Let's build the beloved community, and may justice and love prevail. Amen, Ashe, and may it be so. Well, thank you. It's now time for generosity, and we know from Dana's song what generosity looks like. So I invite now the ushers to come forward to receive the morning's offering. Thanks to our ushers, and thanks to our musicians, and thanks to you for giving the gifts that make this the beloved community of love and justice. I invite you now to rise in body or spirit as we sing together number 1017 in the Teal hymnal, Building a New Way. Before I let you go, I want to say that we have the stewardship lunch immediately following our service. Every now and then when we're traveling, there will be a delay in the flight and people will be anxious to get their connections, and someone will come on the overhead intercom and say, please let those who have connections to get out of the plane first. Inevitably, people will just block the aisles anyway. So today we want to invite you to hang back for a minute and let those who may be mobility challenged to leave the sanctuary first to go through the line for the lunch before everyone else does. Our closing words are from the UU minister, the Reverend Rebecca Savage, one of my colleagues who was a former military chaplain. She writes, as we end our time today in spiritual community, may we depart this sacred space knowing that blessings shall follow us all the days of our lives. If we live in and return to right relationships, if we extend grace and forgiveness to ourselves and others, if we behold mercy as a spiritual superpower, if we emanate the greater love that holds us close, may our lives radiate the blessings that we have been given. May kindness and compassion fall gently from us. May there be peace in the world, and may it begin again with us. Keep your heads up and your hearts open. Be sure to grab some lunch. We'll let those who need to go out early go out first. And please go in peace. Amen.